If you had a knee replacement, a hip replacement, or any surgery after 60, and you came home weaker than you went in. If walking still feels unsteady, your legs give out after a few steps, or you're not really walking on your own yet at all, stay with me. This video was made for you, and every movement we'll do today happens sitting in a chair, so you can start exactly where you are. Here is the truth almost nobody tells you. A surgery at 70 is not a surgery at 40. After 60, the muscle you lose during recovery does not simply come back because you start moving again. Rehabilitation specialists have a name for what happens: disuse atrophy. It means your muscles begin shutting down from inactivity, and after just days or weeks of recovery, that loss can become profound. Walking alone does not rebuild what disuse atrophy takes away. This is not my opinion. Orthopedic surgeons and rehabilitation specialists have known for decades that after joint replacement and major surgery, patients do not begin with long walks. They begin with targeted rehabilitation exercises designed to reactivate muscle long before normal walking strength returns. That is the part most people are never told. Before I show you those movements, try something with me right now. If you're sitting down, fold your arms across your chest and stand up once without using your hands. Just once. Did you make it easily? Did you have to rock forward? Did your legs feel shaky? However it felt, remember it, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what your body was trying to tell you. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 chair exercises rehabilitation specialists use to rebuild strength after surgery. No getting on the floor, no kneeling. Every movement can be done sitting down. And the number 1 exercise targets the exact muscles you need to stand up independently again, even if that feels impossible today. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, what surgery set you back and how long ago was it? I read every comment. One final note, if you've recently had surgery, check with your surgeon first, and start slowly. 3 repetitions is a real start. Today, we begin exactly where you are. Number 5, heel slides. We start here because after surgery, this is often the first movement that helps the leg remember how to move again, without asking too much of it. This is where Linda started. Linda was 76 when she came home after her knee replacement. She was so afraid of damaging her new knee that she barely moved at all. Every week she waited to feel stronger. Her legs became weaker. Heel slides were one of the first exercises that helped her rebuild confidence because they allowed her to move without fear. Sit tall in a sturdy chair. Slide one heel slowly forward along the floor until your leg is nearly straight. Then slide it slowly back toward you. The floor carries the weight, so the joint is never loaded. Slow forward, slow back. That is 1 repetition. There is a reason the Mayo Clinic and rehabilitation programs around the world use heel slides after knee and hip replacement. Before they ask the joint for strength, they first restore movement. If it feels tight, do not force it. Go only as far as comfort allows, and the range will come back with time. Perform 10 slow repetitions on each leg. If one side is weaker, that is the side that needs this most. When 10 slides feel easy, pause for 2 seconds with the leg nearly straight before bringing it back. That small pause asks a little more from the muscle and becomes one of the first signs that your body is beginning to trust itself again. Once the knee remembers how to move freely, we can start asking the muscle to hold. That brings us to number 4. Number 4, seated knee extensions. This is the move that rebuilds the muscle on the front of your thigh, the one that does the work every single time you stand up. After surgery, this is usually the first muscle to shrink, and one of the most important muscles to bring back. For Linda, this was the exercise where she noticed something had changed. After a few weeks of heel slides, she tried standing up from her recliner one morning and realized she only needed 1 hand instead of 2. That was the first time she felt like she might actually get her strength back. Sit tall in your chair. Slowly straighten one leg until it is level with the floor, with your toes pointed toward the ceiling. Hold it there for 2 full seconds. Then lower it slowly, with control. Do not let it drop. That slow lowering phase is where much of the strength rebuilding happens. There is a reason rehabilitation specialists prescribe this exercise after knee and hip surgery. Research has consistently shown that quadriceps weakness is one of the strongest predictors of whether older adults regain walking ability and independence after surgery. Walking alone simply does not activate this muscle enough to rebuild it. Perform 6 repetitions on each leg. You should feel the muscle on the front of your thigh working. That working sensation is exactly what you want. It means the muscle is beginning to switch back on. Here is a simple way to know you're doing it correctly. Place your opposite hand lightly on the front of your thigh as you straighten your leg. You should feel the muscle become firm beneath your fingers. That firmness is your nervous system reconnecting with the muscle. When 6 repetitions feel easy, hold the leg straight for a slow count of 3 instead of 2. Those extra seconds are often where strength returns the fastest. Now your thigh is firing again. But standing up is not just about the front of the leg, it depends on the muscles around your hips. And that brings us to number 3. Number 3, seated hip presses. This is the one that surprises people because it works the muscle on the outside of your hip, the one that keeps you steady when you walk and catches you when you start to tip. Weakness in this muscle is closely tied to falls in older adults, which is why fall prevention programs target it directly. Most people never train it. You are about to. This was the exercise that changed Linda's biggest fear. A few weeks into her recovery, she realized she was no longer reaching for every wall and countertop when she walked through her house. For the first time since surgery, she trusted her legs to catch her if she lost her balance. Sit tall with your feet flat and about 6 inches apart. Place a hand on the outside of each knee. Now press your knees outward against your hands while your hands push back. Nothing moves. You are simply pressing firm and steady for 4 seconds. Then release. You should feel it on the outer sides of both hips. That is the muscle that steadies every step you take. If you live alone, if the fear of falling with no one there to help is always in the back of your mind, this is the move that fights that fear directly. Perform 8 presses. This is the side-to-side stability that walking alone can never give you, because walking only moves you forward. You should feel the work on the outside of your hips, not in your knees and not in your back. If you feel it there instead, ease off and press a little softer until you find the right muscles. When 8 presses feel easy, hold each press for 6 seconds instead of 4. That longer hold is what builds the steadiness that keeps you on your feet. So now the front of your legs is stronger and the sides of your hips are steadier. The next move teaches them to work together, exactly the way they must the moment you stand up. And that brings us to number 2. Number 2. Seated marches. This is where the pieces begin to connect. Standing up, climbing stairs, walking across a room. None of these movements use just one muscle. They require your hips and thighs to work together in rhythm. After surgery, that rhythm often gets lost. This exercise rebuilds it. This was the moment Linda realized she was not just getting stronger, she was getting herself back. A few weeks after starting these exercises, she walked from her living room to the kitchen one morning and noticed something she had not felt since before surgery. Her legs moved with confidence instead of hesitation. Sit tall toward the front of your chair. Lift one knee toward your chest as high as feels comfortable. Then lower it slowly, and as the foot comes down, gently squeeze. Then switch to the other side. The lift is the easy part. The slow, controlled lowering is where the rebuilding happens. Harvard Health has long pointed to low-impact rhythmic movement like this as one of the safest ways to rebuild circulation and coordination without placing excessive stress on the joints. Rehabilitation clinics use seated marching after surgery for exactly that reason. Keep your chest still. If you find yourself rocking backward to lift the knee, you are using momentum instead of muscle. Sit tall and let the leg do the work. Perform 10 repetitions on each side. When 10 repetitions feel easy, add a pause at the top. Lift the knee, hold it there for 2 slow seconds, then lower it with control. That small pause forces the muscle to support the weight of the leg on its own, and that is the exact strength your body uses every time you climb a stair. Feel what is happening here. This is the motion of walking, but rebuilt slowly, deliberately, and under your control. You are teaching your legs to carry you again. And now, you are ready for the one exercise that matters more than all the others. Number 1. The sit to stand. This is the move I promised you at the start. It is number 1 for a reason. Every fear in this video, the fear of not getting out of a chair, not making it to the bathroom in time, ending up on the floor with nobody there to help, losing the ability to live in your own home, comes down to this one ability. Can you stand up under your own power? For Linda, this was the moment everything changed. 3 months after her surgery, she sat down at her kitchen table one morning with her coffee. When she finished, she stood back up, without using her hands. Then she stopped, because she hadn't realized she had done it. That was the first time since her surgery that she felt like herself again. There is a reason rehabilitation specialists treat the sit to stand as one of the single most important tests of strength after 60. Researchers studying aging and mobility, including teams at the Mayo Clinic, have found that how well you rise from a chair predicts your independence, your fall risk, and how long you keep your mobility. In fact, older adults who struggle to rise from a chair without using their hands are far more likely to lose independence in the years that follow. That is why this exercise is number 1. And remember when I asked you at the beginning of this video to fold your arms and stand up once without using your hands? That was not just a test. It was this exact movement. Whatever your body told you back then, this is the exercise that changes the answer. This is the single most important movement you will ever rebuild after surgery because it is the movement your independence is built on. Sit toward the front of a sturdy chair with your feet flat and just behind your knees. Lean your chest forward over your toes. Press through your heels and stand all the way up. Then, and this is the important part, lower yourself back down slowly. Do not drop into the chair. Control the lowering. That slow lowering phase builds even more strength than the standing itself. And for those of you who still cannot stand on your own yet, do not skip this exercise. You do not have to stand all the way. Simply lean forward and lift your hips 1 inch off the chair, then slowly sit back down again. That 1 inch is where it begins. The full stand comes later, and it often comes sooner than people expect. If you need your hands at first, use them. Push from the armrests. Then, week by week, use them a little less. The goal is not perfection today. The goal is the day you stand without needing them at all. Start with 3 repetitions. Build toward 10. And here is the part I want you to pay attention to. The first time you stand up and realize you did not reach for your hands, you will feel it immediately. A steadiness in your legs that was not there a few weeks before. That is the moment you realize your strength did not disappear forever. It was waiting for you to rebuild it. So there they are. 5 chair movements to rebuild the strength surgery took away. Heel slides to restore movement. Knee extensions to rebuild your thighs. Hip presses to restore balance. Seated marches to reconnect the rhythm of walking. And the sit to stand, the movement your independence is built on. Linda did not get stronger because she waited. She got stronger because she started. 3 repetitions. That was all she could do. But 3 became 5. 5 became 10. Then, one morning, she stood up without thinking about it at all. That is how strength comes back after 60. Not all at once, not overnight. 1 movement, 1 repetition, 1 day at a time. Your surgery does not get the final word. Your age does not get the final word. The question is not whether strength can come back. The question is whether you are willing to begin. Before you go, if you know someone who had a knee replacement, a hip replacement, or any surgery and still hasn't gotten their strength back, send them this video. Sometimes all it takes is someone showing them where to start. And if you're ready to keep rebuilding your strength, click the next video on your screen. It shows one of the simplest ways to rebuild leg strength after 60, without relying on walking alone.